Welcome to another episode of Candid Moments. Today, I have a special guest who is giving back to the community with his through sports with children, and I'm going to let him talk about it. So please help me welcome Steve Gergis to the microphone. Hi, Steve.
Hi, good morning, and thank you so much for having me on your show. And yes, and thank you for pronouncing my name correctly as well.
I had to clarify that just to make sure.
And you did it perfectly. Yes, so I'll tell you a little bit. Little Kickers. Little Kickers currently now is in over 30 countries. Um, Many countries apart from the US. It's not in the US. We also are there's over 2,500 franchisees, so it is a franchise. And we do start at a very young, early age for 18 months, so 1.5 years of age. And there's not any soccer in Sudbury that's doing it at that age group. And it does go up to the age of 7. So when they turn the 8th birthday, they would actually stop. But they'll be ready for the big world playing soccer, and they would know all the rules and have a lot of fun, because it's actually not just all about soccer, Little Kickers. We get them ready for school as well. So we actually help with getting to learn the colors. So they will go and say which color. The parents are loving this, especially for the young toddlers, learning the body parts. So there's a lot of learning as well. So it's not just go and kick a ball. It's also learning, getting ready for school. And again, it's 4 age groups we have. So the first age is 1.5 to 2.5, and that's called the Little Kicks. We then have the 2.5 to 3.5 years of age. That's the Junior Kickers. Then we have the Mighty Kickers, which is 3.5 to 5 years of age. And then we have the Mega Kickers, which is 5 to 7. So again, once they turn 8, again, they should be ready, and they'll go to all those soccer clubs around us and know the rules, because quite a lot of children at the age of 8 or 9 don't know the basic rules of soccer. So when I volunteered at a club, in Quebec and here in Ontario, half the children don't know the rules. So when the ball goes for a goal kick, everybody's thinking it's a center. They're all running back. Sorry, a corner, and they're all running back. So picking up the ball during gameplay. So it's nice to start them at a very young age and get them ready.
I love that. What's what started this? What inspired you to start Little Kickers?
Yes, so I've lived in the UK for almost all my life, apart from the last 10 years here in Canada. Little Kickers actually did start in the UK. A mum with young children and saw a demand for something like this. Soccer is a passion for me. Coming from the UK, soccer is actually a religion. They
Okay.
actually it's when the World Cup started a few weeks ago, if I was still living in England, everywhere you go, everybody knows there's a World Cup happening. Here in Sudbury, it was like nobody knew even Canada is in the World Cup. We're still a little bit behind.
Okay.
Again, it's one country to another, it's always different, but I always wanted to try to start a soccer project in Canada. Because I lived in Quebec for so many years, that chance didn't happen because of my language barrier. I don't speak French, even though I am a French teacher. So after being a year here in Sudbury and volunteering at a soccer club, I saw there was a need, especially for the real young age group, and to provide something nice and safe. All our coaches are paid coaches, so they're not volunteering. So we have paid qualified coaches. They're all police checked and trained. We make sure there's somebody with a first aid at each class. So we make sure the children are in good hands. And by saying that, we don't let the parents run away and have a coffee. They do have to stay with their children. So we don't expect 18 months to be by themselves, 10 in a 14 in a class. So they do take part in that age group. And when they get to the bigger age group, the idea is for them to be independent and they're not going to be holding, the parents' hands. And it's not just mums and dads that come along, it's also the grandparents as well. It's like a family day out. So it's a really good thing to see, especially when they wear a uniform for the first time. At 18-month wearing a soccer kit for the first time.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's a
What
good moment.
what happened? So you're instilling all of these values and learning tools into these young children at such a young age. What happens after 7 years old with little kickers?
So once they turn 8, we would for sure advise the parents, where they should go next. Because when you turn 8, you need more soccer drills. That's when it gets into more, training, more gameplay. So the idea is for us to make sure they're ready. Now, every 3 months, there is a badge that they're working towards. So they're learning as they go. So, for example, the little kicks, they can earn 4 badges for the year. The nice iron on, so the parents will be iron them on. Just like swimming, when you go to swimming, there's always a stage, and then you get yourself a badge. I'm not sure if that happens in Ontario, but that's what was happening in Quebec. Um,
Okay,
and that will be it's a proud moment for the parents to see the child actually earn themselves a badge.
I like that. Since it's a snow day today and your children are at home, we're all at home waiting for the snow plows to go by. Are your children all part of Little Kickers or involved in sports somehow?
Yes, so we do have a mixture. So my eldest son, who's 14, he's actually a coach, learning to be a lead coach. So what he does, he's learning from the experienced coach, and he takes his sessions himself. We do have good session plans, and he's been doing a very good job. Um, so we also I have an 8-year-old boy, Jonathan. He's so unlucky. He misses the age group and he cannot join in the mega kickers, because once you turn 8, that's it. So he's a little bit the sad one in the family, where he's not involved in playing, but he does help out. So when he does turn up, he does help by looking after the younger children that are watching. The babies that not ready yet. We have some 10 months old, 12 months, and they also, we can't wait for them to start. So he's kind of like a babysitter to help out.
Oh,
My
that's
youngest daughter, who is going to be 6 next week, her party is actually tomorrow. She's in a mega class and she loves it. I had no idea she would love it like this. She's having so much fun. It's not just the learning part, it's actually the enjoyment to see them smile. Because lots of high fives for the children. We're always encouraging them. We want to let them get lots of goals. The idea is let them get the goals to enjoy the game as well. She's just having so much fun. I really couldn't believe the happiness that she actually has. She screams of joy when she scores a goal. So, and there's a lot of girls taking part, which is nice to see. We do have the classes mixed. We don't have boys only or girls only. That when you get to the age of 8 or 9, that's when you would have a boys or girls only team. So she's enjoying it so much.
I love it. It sounds like the the 8-year-old boy and the 14-year-old boy have some leadership skills instilled in them by you.
Yeah, well, I'm proud of them both, especially Matthew, the 14, who's going to turn 15 next year. He's already got some experience with children working in some camps. He's already working as a tutor for Kumon. So he's at a young age, he's very mature, you could say. So that he's doing a good job. And Jonathan, who is 8, I do feel sorry for him, because where we are living, there is no soccer for him close by for indoor. So there is a lack of facilities for soccer to go throughout the year, which, again, in England, it's an all year sport. We wouldn't be stopping. I do understand we're living in a hockey country.
Yes.
But what I'm looking at is, looking at all the children, what activities, soccer is still the number one sports in the world for children to take in part. And even in Canada, there is the cost is so low compared to other sports. For soccer, you just need a soccer ball, go and play on the field. Um, we do notice a lot of parents not understanding the rules of soccer, and that's something that hopefully we can change as well.
Okay, I don't know the rules of soccer. One time I joined last minute in high school for the tennis team to go and support my school, but I didn't know the rules. After who serves and no, I didn't understand. Okay, whose turn is it now? I didn't because I wasn't part of the team. I kind of went just for the fun of it.
Yes.
How difficult are the rules for soccer?
Well, it should be quite straightforward. But the funny thing is, even some referees don't know the rules when you
Oh,
watch them. And you think, well, that should have been a free kick, and they play on, and and a team would like England. The other day, I was watching, against France. Clearly, there was a foul. The referee did not give it. France go on the other side, score a goal. So even the small mistakes in a big game can cost teams, and that's why they've come with the idea of VAR, where they get to watch, but not everything is replayed. Um, they're always changing rules in all the sports, but with soccer, it's still a simple one. You have the targets to get a goal, and it's still again the number one sport in my eyes in the world. And what we try to do, we try to make it fun. We also have a sharing ball. It's a nice. I actually have it here. It's a colored ball
oh,
where we would like each of the youngster to take turns to share and say what they enjoyed about the session, what they'd be doing later, and passing it around. And the parents are loving this because they get in to see their children share at a nice young age. And again, we try to be different, and I'm very surprised to see how the demand is for the first class. We already have a wait list for our first venue, and because of that, now we have a second location, just because to help that wait list to go down. And the wait list is for the little kicks. That's the 1.5 to 2.5, because
okay.
there was nothing, going around with all the soccer clubs around us right now for that age group.
Okay, what are the prices?
So the
What your
prices
child?
we try to keep the price as low as we can. It is a business, like I say, it's not a non-for-profit, and
Right.
we do have to pay quite a bit for insurance, especially having the young age group. So
Okay.
what we've done is we've put a registration fee of $39.95, so it's $40. And you do get a uniform. So with that, it's an eco-friendly, so it's nice for the environment and good for the kids as well, because the material, that's the shirts and shorts. Then we have a monthly fee, um, which is $69.95 again. So that works out like $70. Over a year, because it's an indoor out season, that would work out around $16 for each session. For each session. And that will be 45 minutes they get. Like I said, every coach is qualified, so they are being paid, so we know if they're going to be there, as they're not just volunteering their time. We also have, at the end of each session, um, a penalty shootout for the young children to score a goal, and then they will get a sticker, and this part they enjoy so much. So every time they know it's time to finish, they will score a goal and get a sticker. And the kids are loving this part. That's one of the things I like to see at the end of the sessions. They're all waiting, lining up to get a sticker.
I like that. It's very encouraging. And even in my adult life, like in Toastmasters, for example, when I write my speech evaluations for everybody, everybody knows that they're going to get a sticker on their evaluation because that's what I do. And they're usually star stickers with a cute little smiley face. Because as a child, you remember when the teacher gave you a sticker, you felt like you were super special. So I like to encourage that in my professional life as well.
Yeah, again, the children are just loving the idea of the sticker. So it's our this Sunday, it's our last session for the year. So we're making sure it's going to be a Christmassy sticker to give out.
I like that. Um, when did Little Kickers originate?
So, like I said, from the UK, so it started in England, um, nearly 15, 16 years ago, and it's just grown to over 30 countries now. It's basically nearly everywhere in Toronto. When I was in Toronto, looking at the sessions and learning, every corner you go, there's a Little Kickers. It's nice to have it in Sudbury. I had talks with other franchise for soccer. They wouldn't come to Sudbury because the number is too small for them. So, for
Okay,
example, there was one competition that you needed to have at least 500,000 people living for them to come in. So,
not this city.
that's it. So, even with Little Kickers, to their eyes, it was also a small number. But with my experience in soccer, my wife being a teacher, they said, we'll see how it goes. But in the picture, they also threw in North Bay. So once we finish Sudbury with all the locations, we will be looking to start in North Bay as our second area.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Who trains the coaches? Is it solely you?
Yep. So we do have online access to the training. And this training is actually from the UK. So it's the London FA. They have their coaching sessions. So again, if the coaches have any problems, I am around to give them some advice. As long as the children are having fun carrying on, they can change it just a little bit if they can see it's a little bit of a problem for certain age groups. So we have the flexibility to change it on the day. But each coach has a session plan set on a Tuesday, and so they have quite a few days to get ready. So from next year, we will now be having a Saturday location. So there will be two options for parents to choose: a Saturday location or a Sunday location. And once we go outdoor seasons, we will also have some evening sessions as well during the week. Um, yes.
Do we have an indoor soccer facility in Sudbury? I know in New Sudbury there's a new sports center. Is that for soccer?
It is. We don't actually use that. That mostly is the non-for-profit soccer use that facilities, and they
Okay.
get a very attractive price compared to what we will be having. So, as us being a business, it will be very high. That then we would have to put our prices up. So, I'm trying to keep our prices low. Um, we wouldn't get the non-for-profit prices to rent those facilities. So, what we're doing now is we're using the city of Sudbury in Minna Lake. They have a nice small hall for the Sunday class, and we just registered to be with the Sudbury Christian Academy in New Sudbury, not too far from the center, and that will be a Saturday. So that would be our second location. Now, when the indoor season finishes, they also have an outdoor soccer field, so the parents don't have to go far. They will be close by. So the idea is any indoor facilities we have to make sure there's an outdoor soccer field right beside it.
Right, but the children don't play soccer in the snow.
We're not outdoors now, so right no. So we're looking in so by the beginning of June to start going outdoors.
That's a good month. It's nice. The only barrier is the black flies and the mosquitoes.
Yes, yes. Again, what can we do?
I could use some black flies and mosquitoes right now, but it will be a white Christmas, so I'm excited for that. For my nephew will be 10 on Sunday.
Happy birthday to him.
Thank you. He doesn't take part in sports outside of school, but he's great at running. Um he's learning how to play on a team, but he doesn't like losing. And I'm trying to instill some sort of um like being a good winner and a good loser, because we're all winners at the end of the day. But he gets very impatient with that. Is Do you have anything for 10-year-olds?
We don't have anything. The only thing I can advise is, try to give him targets, like try to have 5 touches of the ball, try to make 5 passes, get them to enjoy it. That's why when you start at a later age, it might not be as fun as starting at a younger age. So again, it really depends on their coach. They need to make it fun. If they're not going to make it fun, they're going to lose interest, very quickly. Just like in swimming, if you start at a very young age, you're going to enjoy swimming for a very long time. I did not start swimming at a young age, and I don't like going in the water. So it depends how young you start. Some might say 18 months is too young to start soccer. I was one of those persons, but when I saw the program of Little Kickers, how it actually introduced the learning and the fun, that once they start at a young age, when they become 10, they're going to love soccer so much. They don't mind winning or losing. It's the fun factor.
And
You
that's
just,
what it's all about. I
yes.
would I was never the fastest um child when it came time to sport. I didn't jump the furthest or the highest. So it was a little bit of a challenge for me. And now there's other barriers for me. I'm not exceptionally good at sports, but I try my best, and I
How's your soccer skills? How is your soccer skills? Can you kick a ball? Can you keep them?
I can. We have a soccer ball that we play with during the summer outside, but and like my nephew and I, we kick it back and forth, and then we run for it, and he's very fast. But even with Auntie's visual impairment, if I can still kick it past him, and if I get the ball first, and then I win, he said, "Oh, well, this is no fun," and he kind of takes a fit. And I said, "Well, do you think that Auntie gets the goal every time?" No, Auntie doesn't see very well. You need to be patient with me. And even though I got the goal that I was aiming for, that should teach you something. But again, like I'm like a role model in his life, but it's not my place to teach him all of these things. And it takes a lot of patience, but Auntie's not the most patient person, but I try.
Yeah, just make it fun, set some small goals, targets. As long as they're smiling, having, fun, it they will, carry on.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So
When you get to a certain age and you have to play games and the parents can be pushing the children. I've seen it even in England, where they really push the children and the enjoyment kind of goes away. You've still got to enjoy, the activities you're doing. And again, you said summer. You say, why are you not kicking a ball, somewhere indoors? Soccer, in my eyes, can be played all year round. It's not just a summer sport.
this is true, and our soccer ball has become a little bit deteriorated because we play with it often. But when it came time to um, play hockey, he received, I think it was from Santa. It was a gift from Santa, either last year or the year before. He got two nets and some hockey sticks. So we went to play outside, and we I don't know, we played for a few minutes, and he wouldn't have it. It wasn't something of interest for him. So we thought, well, Grandpa, or no, I think it was a gift from Grandpa, and he he would rather play with a video game. And I think that is just absurd. So he asked Santa for a video game this year, and he lives on a farm with Grandma and Grandpa. But Santa is bringing him a video game this year. But he has trouble taking turns, like on the tablet. I wanted to. Okay, can you show me? Let Auntie have a turn. And then I tried, and then he says, "Oh, let me show you something in the game, and he took it away from me. So he's having trouble taking turns, and he's the only child in the family. And I don't know how to empathize with that because I have two siblings.
Mm.
He's the only child, so I'm the one who has to play and initiate that play, even though he doesn't want to have to do with me because he wants to play video games. That's not fun anymore for me. That's I don't want to play video games. How do we switch to the game is fun, but why can't we just go and play outside?
Well, I just the other day I went to a sports shop. I'm not mentioning which one. I was looking to see if they had the size two, because we use size two. So when parents are asking, where can I go and buy? I said, well, I looked before and I didn't see anywhere these sizes. You have to go online. I always like for somebody to support local. When I went to a few sports shops, it was empty. There was nothing really for soccer. And we're during a World Cup right now. There's no shirts from other countries where you can purchase. There was a few soccer balls, size 4, size 5s, no young ones. I know we're outdoors, it's snowing, but it's Christmas as well. You expect them to stock up.
Right.
It'd be nice for you to go and buy a soccer ball right now and say, you go and kick it. You can kick a soccer ball in the snow still. You can still
Absolutely.
get a nice yellow soccer ball, a red one. Don't get a white one. You would lose it. But it's a shame to see the local stores around here very, very low on soccer items.
That's strange. But even the bigger sports stores such as Sports Check.
Not going to mention names,
Oh,
but
that's fair.
I did visit quite a few. And if you get a chance, you go and check yourself. You would see there's one section where it said soccer and it had something completely different on the shelves. So it's sad to see, especially soccer being the number one sports in the world. And we have a World Cup being played right now. The final is this Sunday. Um, and it's a very low keen in the sports shops that there is a World Cup being played.
Who's in the running?
So now we already know the final. It's France with Argentina. And Canada should be proud because the two teams that they played were in the semi-finals. So they did play Croatia and they lost to Croatia, Canada, but Croatia got to the semi-final and they also lost to Morocco, who also got to the semi-final. So, Canada have to be proud. They qualified, but they're still a little bit behind teams, in Europe and South America. And maybe, little kickers can help starting at a young age. You do need to start at a young age and follow it through. Just like in UK, grassroots is so important.
Right.
That's why England are always qualifying every 4 years for the World Cup, for the Euros. Okay, they get bad luck, they lose on penalties, but you see they're always there and they start with the investment at a very young age with, starting soccer, that young age.
So since the soccer is such a big deal in England and the UK, and hockey is number one in Canada, why bring soccer here? Did you see a need for it?
I did my research. Last year, the non-for-profit soccer, they had wait lists. They had children couldn't get in soccer clubs. So there's definitely a need. And again, there was no one doing the young age that we've started with. Um, and it's not an easy age because I don't believe any of the non-for-profit soccer would start from 18 months because these are going to be volunteer parents and it's not easy, that age group. So I believe nobody will be starting a 1.5 years of age. The youngest they do is the 3, the under 3, under 4. So I actually was surprised to see my wife was supposed just to help with the admin and be a partner, and she jumped straight in and she's coaching the little kicks, the 1.5 to 2.5, and
Oh,
she's loving it. So as a teacher, she's very bubbly, and she goes the extra, walk like a penguin and make funny noise. the children are loving it, and then that class is the reason why we have like 9 or 10 on the wait list. The feedback for that class is just fantastic.
And that's the answer to how successful your franchise is.
Yeah, like I say, it's grown. It's everywhere in Toronto. They can't really put any more around there. So we are the first in Sudbury. And we already have in request, can we go outside, like, in Chelmsford? This is our next goal, is to be in Chelmsford area.
Perfect.
There are some parents traveling from the valley, and they're saying, it would be great to have. There'll be some parents for sure would like to do that. My wife is even, speaking to some of the children in French. As a French teacher, we do have some children, French is their first language, so it's a bonus that she's actually doing English and French.
What does she teach? Only
Well,
French?
Well, yeah, she's been a French teacher for now nearly over 20 years. I believe she'd be great to speak with you one-on-one. It may be in a few months' time when she's, settled in and everything. She'd be way more better to talk to than I am. So I apologize if I'm, no fun.
Apologize for what? I'm enjoying this.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. But I believe when we first started, we were supposed to not do any of the sessions. The idea is you don't want somebody to say, oh, we really don't want to have another coach because we love Rita or Steve. So I took the advice, I'm not going to do any coaching sessions because you want to be moving around different locations. My wife didn't follow the rules, and she's broken the rules straight away, and she's coaching and she's loving, doing the age group. So the problem is now she did say she's going to stick with it. But when we get more locations, I've kind of banned her from doing any more else. Just stay where she is for the Sunday. So hopefully she doesn't ignore me and start doing it on a Saturday from in a few weeks where we start our Saturday location.
And those are the 18 month. What are those called? The little kickers?
That's the little kicks. That's the
Little
1.5 to 2.5. Yeah. So what we do, the first age group is from 9:15 to 10 o'clock. And then the second group, the junior kickers, is from 10:15 to 11 o'clock. And then the mighty kickers is 11:15 to 12 o'clock. And then we've got the mega kickers, 12:15 to 1 p.m.
every Saturday.
every Saturday and Sunday. So right now we have the Sunday classes since November. And for Saturday, we'll be starting the beginning of the year, that 7th of January. We'll be starting the Saturday ones.
Okay. And what's the location?
So location for the Sunday, they can't just turn up on the day. They have to go online and register at littlekickers.ca. But we have a wait list, like I said, for the first age group. But they would need to register online, and then it will be 1127 Bancroft Drive. That's in Mena Lake is where we have our Sunday location.
112 Bancroft.
Bancroft Drive. And new location, I'm not sure the actual address. I think it's 960 Dublin Street. That's the the Sudbury Christian Academy. So it is a school gym hall we're using. It's kind of double the size, so it's a nice. It'd be nicer for the children to be at the Saturday location because it's a really big location.
on on Douglas Street.
Is it Douglas Street? No, it's not Douglas. I think it's Dublin Street.
Of Dublin.
Yeah, I think it's a school that moved there maybe a year ago or something. So Sudbury Christian Academy. It's a school, not a large with numbers. They have small class. It is a private school, but from my understanding, it's a very good school. A few people I've spoken to didn't even know there's a private school in Sudbury. A Christian school.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
There you go. A lot of people. So we're actually going to be advertising on their behalf. They are looking to grow. The principal is a very nice gentleman, and we're going to have a nice partnership. We are looking to work with, the school where we can help. But yeah, it's a very nice building.
Perfect. How are you doing marketing?
So we did have a small problem with the social media, like my Facebook account got suspended. Whatever reason, no idea. It seems somebody could have reported my page for the business page, so I don't have access to the business page no more. So now we had to do a new business page through my wife's account. Um, we are looking to do a lot of marketing from next year. The idea is try to be ready for the outdoor season because that's
And-
when we're going to be more busy than the indoor season. And we are going to try to just have fun as well. We're looking to get involved in the community. There is a snow day activity in February from the city, which will be taking part. So we will have some coaches um, where the children will be taking, penalty shots at our coaches, having fun, and we're looking to do some kind of prize draw. So we're going to try to get involved as much as we can in the community. There's also a job fair where we're looking to hire local. In February again with the YMCA, we're going to have a table. We're going to get involved, and we're going to need a lot of coaches once we get to the outdoor season.
That's fantastic. The website is littlekickers.ca.
Correct, yeah. And on that website, it'll have all the information. So when you go to find a class, you just click in, for example, Sudbury, and then it will show the two location. And then from next year, hopefully you'll see 4 or 6 more locations. And again, we're just looking to grow, not too fast. We don't want to grow too fast. But from my understanding, once we get to outdoor season, we might not have enough uniforms because
Okay.
you got to order ahead of time. Um, we're not trying to go crazy and have soccer in every single park. We want to make sure the quality is there. So we have to make sure the coaches are ready and they're trained. And it's not easy sometimes finding coaches where they have a silly hat because we want them to be funny as well and to make the children laugh. So there are so many good coaches out there, but they can't put a silly hat on. Walk like
Okay.
a penguin,
Right.
animal noises. You're not going to go to an experienced coach for 20 years for a big soccer club and say, start walking like a penguin and show the kids. It's so we've got to
You definitely have to step out of your comfort zone in order to walk like a penguin.
exactly. So we are, on a lookout for, coaches with silly hats.
Coaches with silly hats. I like that.
I think I need to put that as the post next time. Coach with a silly hat. Yes.
That's important because well, that's how we make things fun.
Yeah, and the children are just loving it, and it's not just the children, like I said, it's the parents. We've just been going for 5 weeks now, and we've already got a few nice Google reviews on there. So
Good.
yeah, so hopefully we get a few more Google reviews. That's nice to see what they're saying. The children enjoying it. They like the coaches. Somebody said they like the owners, so I need to give them some money for that.
Hey, that's good. Hey,
Maybe
free,
should
free
send them a
promotion is always good promotion.
yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying watching. I kind of feel jealous of not being involved in coaching, but again, I don't want to coach and then they get attached to me and then I move to another location. So, oh, we miss Coach Steve. That was the idea. But now my wife Rita, she didn't follow the rule and now she's coaching the first class. And and most of the reviews, by the way, is coming from that class. So
Oh, from Rita's class.
yeah, she's making it so much fun.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you see a big difference between the culture in soccer, whether it be the rules or the attitude or the fun when you moved here opposed to the UK? I'm sure it's a huge difference.
It is a big difference. Like I say, in the UK, it is a religion. Soccer. It's again the number one sport in the world. I still disagree with anyone saying that hockey's still number one here in Canada for being played for the young children. It's still soccer being played overall in Canada. So it is different. You go to the supermarket, you don't see advertisement of the World Cup. Buy a pack of beer, go and watch, the World Cup. You don't go to a store where they sell TVs. So I'm not picking names here. Buy a TV to watch the World Cup final. I used to see that in England, so you would get to see the commercials in the store saying World Cup's being played, buy some chips for the games in the store. Everywhere I've been, I didn't see anyone noticing there's a World Cup being played. Some didn't
Interesting.
even know. Yes.
Hmm. Tell me more about how many franchises you have in the country here.
So we've got some in Toronto, Alberta, Vancouver. Again, I don't know the exact number because it's not me owning all them. I just have me and my wife just have the Sudbury and North Bay one. And
Oh, so you're a franchisee.
exactly, yeah. So we
You
actually
didn't you didn't start Little Kickers.
we only started it in Sudbury. We were crazy enough to start it with a small number compared to other areas. So we have started it as a franchisee in Sudbury, where nobody would have even expected, with the small amount of numbers living here, to set up something like Little Kickers. So what's the idea is, once we're up and running here, because the area is smaller, we are going to go to North Bay as well. And if that does pretty well, which we're expecting in North Bay, because again, there's nothing there doing the age of 18 months. We already did our research. Nothing stopping us from going to the other areas around us, like Timmins, for example.
Okay, so I got my wires crossed here. We're 45 minutes into the episode, and I thought that you started Little Kickers. You
Not,
purchased a franchise.
not just a franchise, yeah.
Okay. Do you know the people who founded it?
The name, I believe her name is Christina. She had two young children. Again, all this information is actually on the website, so I don't say anything wrong. She was running it for so many years. From my understanding, she stepped down now, just a few months ago, so she's kind of retired and sold it off. But she did something that, not many people would believe, starting a small soccer, club in the UK, and for it to expand in, over 30 countries, and the number one preschool soccer in the world, for having it in 30 odd countries, and over 2000, is it 2000 franchisees? I can't remember the numbers. It's all on the website. It's somewhere
Okay,
on.
that's great. So what are your goals for the new year?
To get more happy, smiley faces.
Okay.
It's a shame we couldn't open in the outdoor season. That way, we would have had more opportunity to get more children involved. Because of the wait list that we have, it's not easy finding a location indoor where we will have access to it on a regular basis. So, for example, if you went to one of the school boards and they would have a school holiday, we wouldn't have access to that hall. It'd be closed unless there's a daycare there. And if there's a strike, which I am all for teachers, but if there is, we then won't have access to the gym hall again. So we have to be careful where we actually going to get an indoor location. That's why we've got a private school at the moment, because they do have a daycare beside it. And we are working with the city to look at other locations around the area as well. So the indoor is a little bit tricky compared to the outdoor. The outdoor, the parks are everywhere. As long as they're going to be close by to the indoor facility. We are looking at Kiwi Park as one of the outdoor.
Okay.
And we're also looking at, again, a few other parks. So watch this space.
Well, well, it's not like we lack outdoor space in the city of Sudbury.
That's very true. What we have to be careful is the safety, how close it is to the road.
Yeah.
From the UK, all about health and safety. Also, we need to make sure the children are not going to be, keeping the eyes over the water park, the splash pads and so we want to make sure we're not too, we're making it fun for them, but for a young age, they see something over the right hand side, left hand side, they're going to be wandering off. When it's indoor, you can control them and they're not going to run away, outside, so we're looking forward to the outdoor season, but for now, we're having fun with the one location that we have. And next year, we're looking forward to the second location that's open. We haven't advertised it as much as we want to yet, because we're just waiting to, get some coaches trained. But without advertising, we nearly filled up the first class again for little kicks. The 1.5 to 2.5. That again is the most popular age for little kickers.
Oh, that's great. How many children do you have for that class?
So I believe registered for that class is around 8 or 9 from the 14. So we have about 5, 6 spaces left for that class. Again, once
What?
we advertise with all the school boards next year, um, you know, that will for sure be filled up before, the first class starts.
Is there only one coach per group of children?
No, so what we want to do is make sure we always have a minimum of 2 coaches. Sometimes you will see 4 coaches. So we want to make sure the assistant coach learns from the lead coach. So for example, we have a young female coach, and she's learning from my wife and the other coaches. And only last week we gave her her first class to lead, just to get some experience, and she did wonderful. Because in Toronto, I'm seeing many young female coaches, having so much fun and coaching. So we want to encourage the young coaches to take classes.
That's great. At when the children start at 18 months, for example, and go all the way till 7 with little kickers, at 7 years old, what do you see that they've gained from this organization and this sports playing with other children?
That's a very good question. You need to ask me that in 5 or 6 years when I see it for myself. But
Okay.
they would have learned a lot of knowledge in the game of soccer. They for sure they would have learned the rules. Um, Making friends is so important. Having the what I've noticed is it's not just children making the friends. I've noticed how the parents are getting to know each other as well, especially the two first young age groups where they're taking part and they're speaking, make it so it's actually, it's like networking for the adults as well, for the parents. It's really good for the first two age groups. Once they get to the age of 3.5 to 4, we try to encourage the independence of the child to be by themselves, away from the parent, so they'll be listening to instructions. And some parents are very surprised what they've learned after just a couple of weeks, how they're listening, the listening skills. That's the idea of these badges. Each badge is different: the listening skills, the shooting skills. So this is something, once they turn 8, their birthday, they should be getting ready for Canada World Cup.
Oh, oh, okay. That's a great answer. I love it. So world class. There's no
They should be world class.
okay. Well, aren't you a
They
world
still,
class coach?
they still need some help, but they still have a long way. But the idea is when they turn 8, they should be still enjoying the game of soccer. And when they go to the next club, um, they'll be ready.
It
They'll
sounds
be
like
ready.
a lot of fun and a lot of leadership skills as well.
Why, for sure,
I,
and I would not have
that's,
done this without my wife. My wife has been a rock, so a rock
yeah.
in this.
Wow. So you guys have been in Sudbury with Little Kickers for how long?
So we started our first class the beginning of November. So
This year?
this year, this year,
So
the beginning
when
of
we,
I was
so
looking
just
at a
last
project.
month.
I was looking at the idea for, a year, what we can do. So this came up. We're still working on some other projects, but that again is down the line, something else.
You were working on something called Access Sports,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that is still on the cards. Maybe the next time we get to speak, you will see that up and running, but that is not died. It's just other things came in its place, but that's still going to be running. Hopefully next year in the summer. That would be something completely different. But I prefer not to go too much details
That-
for it
That's
now,
okay.
in case somebody steals my idea.
Right. Okay, we're not going to talk about that, but you coined it, and
Yes,
I look forward to hearing so much more about it in the new year.
and it'd be great for you to one day come down and take a look at what we have. Little kickers. Maybe when it's outdoors, so you can bring me a ice cold drink or something.
You have yourself a deal. I will do that.
That'd be perfect. Okay.
Okay. Steve, this has been so much fun spending time with you, talking about sports and your business ideas and bringing so much joy to our city through soccer. We may not be the World Cup, but we can still play soccer in our own community.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me on. And I'm looking forward to maybe having a coffee soon one day.
I would love that. Yes, let's keep in touch. I'm wishing you and the family Merry Christmas.
And a Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New
You.
Year. Have
Thank
a kicking Christmas, a kicking Christmas.
A kick in Christmas. I love that. This episode will air probably the last week of January, but I will send you all the information.
That's great. Okay. Well, thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend. Okay.
Thank you. You as well, Steve Gergis, everybody.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.